if you've not yet set your New Year's goals, then fear not. Now is the perfect time. Just because you didn't manage to do it before that bell went at midnight, if you're listening to this in February, March, that doesn't matter either. So what I'm going to do is walk you through my full stack 45-day chapter system. I'm going to give you everything that you need to have a successful year. Hey guys, welcome back to the show and Happy New Year. My system focuses on a 3-year vision, which is broken down into 45 days chapters. So what you end up with is a really nice, holistic, whole view dream life vision that you want, but is easily achievable because we break it down into these 45-day steps. So if you did your end of year review on the episode that we did last week, cool, because we're going to use that today. If you want to do that, and if you have time to do that, I would recommend going back and listening to that episode now, doing your end of year review, because that will provide a good basis to carry out this goal setting system. But if you just want to do goals and you want to find out how I'm doing it and you want to steal bits of this and just use parts of it, that's absolutely fine. I recommend doing this 4-step framework. So the first step is review, which I just mentioned. The second one is New Year's intention. Again, you can skip that if you want. The third one is your dream life vision. You can skip it if you want, but it's really good. And the fourth is the 45-day chapter goal system, which is where the rubber meets the road in terms of goal setting. So you can kind of plug and play either one of these. So if you just wanted to do like the dream life vision and then the chapter system, that's cool. Or if you just wanted to do the New Year's intention, doesn't take long at all, have that and then plug that into the goals. That's fine. So it's up to you really, like how deep do you want to go with this sort of stuff. But if you're wanting the best results, I would recommend the full flow. For that, you're probably going to need maybe 2 to 3 hours, but I've got in here some downloadable content and some chat GPT prompts or just general AI prompts that you can use to plug in and make this much quicker. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a walkthrough. It's going to be a short episode because I've put all of the value into this downloadable pack. That's awakenoutofcontext.com/chapter-system. And you can find that in the episode description show notes. I'll send everything over to you on there. And it does actually have a copy of the end of year review if you wanted to do that as well. So it's up to you in terms of how you want to go through this process. You might want to go get the download and follow along at every stage, or maybe just listen through to this because it's going to be fairly short, and then get the download and then fill it in your own time, but then listen to it again or something like that. But make sure you go get that download now. Okay, so we're going into this assuming that you've done last week's end of year review. So we'll be going into part one. Part one is the New Year's intention. So I don't know whether you did a New Year's resolution, but if you didn't, now's a good time to do it, because just because you didn't do one on New Year's doesn't mean that you can't do one now. And also, this does differ from a resolution. Like a lot of people's resolutions might be give up smoking or go to the gym more, etc. But the idea behind the intention is it's much more dynamic and identity based rather than being super rigid. So it's more about who the sort of person you aspire to be and the values that you hold. That's how it should kind of capture everything. And the approach that I've done here is it uses your end of year review as fuel to feed into an AI prompt, which will spit out some ideas of what kind of intention that you could set. So the format is 4 to 6 sort of statements about who you're going to be in 2026. So within the download pack, you're going to have all the prompt and everything in there. I'll give you an example. This is mine. So mine is, in 2026, I will lead with permissionless high agency and trust my intuition. I'll set goals using my chapter system, invite others into my journey, and share content daily. Ensuring the tools feel light in my hands, I'll support those who want to grow, stay proactive in health and finances, and won't forget to ask for help when needed. I'll be open in attracting a partner who shares my vision for the future. So that's mine. By the way, if you notice my voice, I'm extremely unwell with flu, but I wanted to get this done for you guys. So have a look through the document. paste that into ChatGPT, get some ideas, do your New Year's intention. Make sure you print it off, and you want to be looking at it daily, really. All of these things that we're going through, make sure you save a copy, save it somewhere, share it to your Instagram story if you can, or if you feel comfortable doing so, share it with a friend, and then make sure you print it off and look at it often. So the next part is the creating the 3-year dream life vision. So the idea behind the 3 years was that I wanted to have something that was not too far away that it just seemed ridiculous, like a 10-year goal or something, or not something that was just like just a year. There's something around the 3-year mark that kind of made me feel like that's not too far away, that, but you can potentially get a lot done in that period. I think is there a Bill Gates quote, something around we tend to estimate how much we can get done in a year, but underestimate what we can do in 10 years. But I will change that to 3 years. If you're doing it now, you're envisaging that it's 3 years in the future. So presumably that'll be January 2029, but you can adjust it if you need to. And it's not a to-do list. It's like more like a manifestation document. It's not really my vibe, the whole manifestation, spirituality, that kind of thing. But it is along those lines. But you're not like setting fire in it and send it to the moon or anything like that. You're going to have it on your wall and read it and every now and then to sort of reflect on that dream life that you want. So I did this 12 months ago, and it's been extremely effective. Like it's basically just like the North Star for what you're going to use for all the other goals that you set. So that will provide a bit of a framework before you're going to do goals every 45 days. You basically cross-reference to that and then pick something out of that. If you are someone who did it last year or midway through the year, because I did another episode on this, then I've provided a prompt in there that you can paste into AI for updating it. So basically take your review and take your dream life that you've currently got, and then it will basically spit out some recommendations on stuff that you can add in. So if you read that in there, and you'll see that it's all been devised so that you're not amending stuff too much. I don't want to lose what you've already got. So adding in a couple of sentences maybe is going to be useful, but feel free if you want to change it a little bit, you've got time, then great. And then the last section, which is the chapter goal system, is really when you're going to make all of the progress. So it's a spreadsheet document and has a load of different fields in there. So the idea with the chapter system, not only is it about the reduced length, but I liked the phrasing of thinking of it like if your story was going to be a script or a play, something like that, like what would that journey look like? And it makes you look at challenges and stuff in a different way. Like, would this be a good movie? I think it's like the hero's journey is something I always like remind myself of, especially when life is difficult. So if you start each chapter and think about like, if this was a book, what would I want this chapter to be called? How I learned to love my attachment style and let go of anger or whatever it may be. Just think about what you want that chapter to be. And then from there, then you can then assign SMART goals to put in there that will need to be done by the end of the 45 days. Start off with 2 to 3 goals and pick different areas of life. So have one for work, one for personal, one for relationships, something like that. And then at the end of each chapter, you'll review your progress. You'll write down what went well, what didn't go so well, what did you achieve, da, da, da. The key thing here is to make sure you do that every 45 days. It will really help you, especially when you come to do your end of year review. This year, when I was able to look back on that sheet, I had everything that I'd accomplished throughout the year and what I didn't accomplish. So it was really easy for me to review what went well, etc. But all of this is in the download. So if you haven't already got it, don't forget it's awakeningoutofcontext.chapter-system. But you can get it in the show notes. Everything on there is all mapped out. So I've spent ages putting all of this together. So it's super easy to understand. I fear that my voice is about to go. So I'm going to leave you with that. Go ahead, get that download. Follow all the instructions. I've given you everything. I hope you have a wonderful 2026. I hope we crush it together. And yeah, don't forget to drop me a message on Instagram and let me know how you get on